There are several documents that we can point to when we begin to research Gertrude Käsebier's collection. There were letters exchanged between her and her Native American subjects, the Sioux Indian performers with the Buffalo Bill Wild West show. And they're documented in Everybody's Magazine from January 1901. I have not seen any of these original, but I have seen them in this article. And no author is attributed to this article. We think it might be Käsebier herself who pens this article, and includes excerpts from many letters over the course of many years, almost a dozen years of exchanges between her and these Indians. And sometimes it's just the Indian letting her know what was going on. Sammy Lone Bear, Philip Standing Soldier, talking about something that had just happened in the show, someone being ill, or weather, or the performances. Sometimes it's an indication that they did have a strong friendship and they hadn't seen each other in a long time and they missed each other, or a plan to bring gifts when they saw each other. And then there's also one letter that we know was penned by Käsebier herself, and that's one that discusses her photographing the children who accompanied the Sioux on their tour with the Wild West. And the Lone Bear family seemed to be one that was very close with Käsebier. She photographs Chief Lone Bear, she photographs Sammy, and after many years of trying, she's able to photograph some children, and that includes Mary Lone Bear. The women in camp, are still very scared of this, that they believe maybe that, as many Indians did, that their soul would be taken, captured in that lens of the camera. So they flee, and they do not want to be near this photography session. And then weeks later, she comes back to photograph the Indians. And frantically, the women run again. And why is that? She turns, I'm assuming, she turns to someone like Sammy Lone Bear and says what happened. And Mary Lone Bear has died. So at the very end of the Käsebier letter, she pens, "What killed her?" ? So the emotion that is represented in that moment, because from all the research, indicates that she did care for these men and women deeply. She had developed strong relationships with them. And to convince them that it was the right thing to do, to add to the very strong collection of photographs that she'd already made and photographed these beautiful children, and then to come back and feel the devastation of knowing that just weeks later Mary Lone Bear is dead. Was there something to that superstition? The documents are very important, and whether they are printed in a magazine from 100 years ago, or whether they rest now in the archives of the Smithsonian or the Buffalo Bill Historical Center or the New York Public Library, they bring to life that relationship that Käsebier was working so hard to maintain with the Indians.